single day I'm building the habit. No buy list. Hi babes, welcome to my 2026 reset guide, but not only my guide, but also how I'm resetting. If you guys clicked on this video, first of all, welcome. Make sure you're subscribing. And if you guys clicked on this video, you obviously are ready to lock in. We are rebranding. We are upping our already current branding. We're doing whatever we need to do to reset for 2026. Make sure we are locked in, ready to be our best selves. And I'm going to show you guys how I have been doing it and how I foolproof every single year, glow up, reset, and rebrand my life so that I can have a very successful year. First of all, this video is going to be set into 4 different parts. I have very strategically outlined how I'm going to go about this. I've been working on this video for a couple days, showing you guys how I'm resetting. And the first part is physical, because I think physically everything about our reset and rebrand has to do with our aesthetics, whether that's aesthetics in our own rooms and apartments and living, but also ourselves. Number 2, our mentality, so keeping up on anything that is gonna clutter up our mental. Then part 3 is my vision board, so everything to do with affirmations. I'm not gonna just be showing you guys my vision board, but I'm also gonna be talking about the methods of goal setting I've been using for years and how it always keeps me on track. And then part 4 is gonna be a financial reset, and I decided to keep that one separate from all the other parts because in today's economy, it's crazy, and with the overconsumption epidemic literally in our country, we need to break the shackles. So make sure you guys are checking the video chapters so you can see what part of this reset, glow up, and rebrand is best for you, and we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Okay, so one of the first things that I'm prioritizing this New Year's is getting back into the habit of utilizing my Notion. My Notion helps me stay organized for all parts of this reset, but especially my physical. So when we think physical, I'm kind of doing this in not only my body but also my area. I fall off of habits of cleaning and keeping things decluttered really easily, and I fall off my workout splits and then will randomly try to like redo them mid-year, and it kind of just throws me off. So I am re-upping my Notion. I went back in and basically went through and made everything really cutesy and aesthetic again. I used to have my Notion on my MacBook, but honestly I didn't use it as much as I did on my phone, so it took up a lot of storage and I kind of just wiped it off my MacBook. I'm instead going to really be utilizing it on my phone this year. So I'm going to start screen recording and kind of walking you guys through, first of all, how it looks, why it looks the way that it does. I have a little widget on my phone with my Notion, and it takes me right onto my dashboard. I have it set up this way because my dashboard shows me basically my dailies, and your dailies is what really keeps you guys in track. So I have my good morning, good night, and then weekly check-ins of things I need to do. I have things like drinking your kombucha in the morning, my 5-minute breathing meditation. In years past, it used to be the 5-minute journal, but I realized if I was rushing or I just was like mentally drained that day, those journals kind of just felt like chores, and I'm just not a journaler like how I want to be. So instead of trying to force the journaling, what I decided to do instead was I have been making sure I take some moments to meditate. I have ice roller in the AM, gua shine as well, because those are 2 really important steps that I just can't emphasize enough. I love a good ice roll. If you guys watch my vlogs, you see me doing it almost every single morning. And gua shine morning and night just really helps, kind of just that lymphatic drainage everybody has. It's just a need. My good night is making sure that I tidy up the kitchen. Some people call that putting the house to sleep, things like that. I will forget to do that. I will neglect that to a max, so I made sure that was in there. And then my most important one, other than just the little daily to-dos and chores, is updating my meal prep and workout split. So I will show you how in my Notion I'm going to keep track of that. And then my weekly is just things like checking in on resets. A lot of that has to do with some self-care and then care around my apartment. And then monthly is the monthly chores like cleaning baseboards, making sure that my shower is clean, washing sheets, which honestly is weekly, but just make sure I've been doing that. So what I'm gonna get into next is I have my yearly goals. So when you guys click into the yearly goals, I have not even touched it since 2025. So by the end of the video, I'm going to make sure I go back in here and I update this a little bit. I wanna make sure I make it kind of match my vibe, and a lot of these like aesthetics just aren't what I feel fits my own personal aesthetic. So definitely gonna have to go in and jazz that up. One thing I do want you guys to see is how I make sure I keep track of my workout and eating splits. What I do is I go into body and I will make sure that I have 2 goals at the top. So this is a workout and an eating goal, and then I will go in and fill in on what day I am eating and what workout I'm doing. So I am gonna make sure that I reset and fill this in for the year for at least the next month, if not 2 months, and just make sure I have that down. And then once I have it in my Notion, I will go through at least every Sunday or once a week when I have extra time, and I will add it to my planner. That leads me to my next point. If you guys are not Notion people, that is totally a-okay, but the least you can do is be a planner person. I decided that I wanted to get a leopard print. She just was speaking to me, and I love the Blue Sky planners. I feel like they have always been tried and trues. I kind of go back and forth in between what 2 brands I really like. Whatever planner you guys want. I'm not here to influence you to purchase the world's most expensive planner. I literally think this was like $25 on Amazon. You guys do not need to purchase anything more than that. Do whatever makes you happy. But seriously, working and focusing on the weekly reset for my workout split and then eating. If you guys are not on a workout split or some kind of fitness routine, please, you have probably heard me preach it many times in the past, but you need to be. It is one of the best things you guys can do for your bodies. So please make sure you guys are always prioritizing movement. The next thing I really focused on this reset was resetting my entire physical area. So physical, just what I look at and what I'm in every day. So I have been redoing my entire vanity area. You guys are gonna see some clips of me decluttering multiple different points in my little beauty room, beauty area, and I just had to really kind of bite the bullet and purchase some things that I had been sleeping on, like a new beauty organizer. I have this gorgeous Pottery Barn knockoff that I'm now utilizing in my area of my vanity, and then I also am making sure I'm keeping things organized on my little bookshelf. I don't need all this clutter. That leads me to thinking mentally on part 2 of this video is keeping up with decluttering. Decluttering gives me anxiety, and it took a lot to understand where the source of my anxiety was coming from. I have really bad avoidant anxiety, and I realized if I didn't have clutter and messes to avoid in the first place, then I won't have to worry about that avoidant anxiety. So decluttering and just like catering your aesthetics to you have been helping so much, and a lot of that is bleeding into my mentality. If you guys are somebody that is struggling on a level of a certain mental health or mental disorder, I 10 out of 10 recommend just like seriously sitting with yourself and trying to get to the root of that. A lot of the times the answers is within something that we know, we just have failed to confront. So you guys need to definitely, I know it's not fun, but seriously, just sitting down and just being real with yourself about what that is and how it's affecting you does wonders. So that is where I started decluttering, and then the decluttering led to the part 1 of me being like, oh my gosh, my space is like everything I've imagined it to be so far. My part 3 is my vision board. Now I do a vision board every single year, at least the past 3 to 4 years. And I've noticed that there are always consistent things I keep on my vision board. So what I did was I made my reset list first. I also made my 3 in 3 goals. So if you guys have watched any of my previous resets or yearly advice videos, last year I introduced my 3 in 3 method, and this is just something I've been doing honestly since like college. Like I always make 3 short-term and 3 long-term goals. It just helps me cater to what I should be doing every week, every month, and you can spread it out or make them very specific. But and what I do currently do is I will list the ones in my little mini notebook here, and I will literally physically go into my planner and add like, okay, that goal needs to happen by July 10th of 2026 or whatever it needs to be. My short-term goals, I always make sure I incorporate into my vision board, and you guys will see this. So one is my running goals. I ran a half marathon this past year, and I have ran some 5Ks and things like that. I love to run, and it is one of my favorite physical activities, but it is one of the hardest to mentally keep. I get so in my head an imposter syndrome about running. So that is one of my short-term goals. You might be thinking that's long-term, but I think categorizing it as short-term helps me keep it in that back of my brain for every single day. Like every single day I'm building a habit with my running. Then that just leads into overall physical aesthetic. That is something that is more like a rebrand. So what I also like to do is go into Pinterest and literally make sure that for any occasion I can think of, I already have coined some outfits. So I will have springtime outfits. I commonly will go to lakes in the summer. So if I know I'm going to the lake for a lake weekend with my friends, my fiance, whoever it is, I have a whole Pinterest board already catered to that. And I constantly am updating it. If you guys are not Pinterest girlies, which I'm sure you are, I literally don't know a single person who doesn't love a good Pinterest scroll. First of all, it's better for you than doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, but I will be constantly adding to these boards, and then in the new year I will go through and take off things that I feel like no longer fit my aesthetic and things like that. Then for number 3, for short term, I am putting declutter. Again, that might be long term as well, but I need to be so much better about not holding on to junk. I literally went through and decluttered so many of my drawers yesterday and today, because again, resetting for the new year is not just a one-day process. So I made sure to get in and do that and do it well. Then for long term, I have YouTube goals. So you will see that in my vision board. I have a little cake that has a 10K on it because that is like my goal subscriber count for the new year. Then I have my praying the rosary. I grew up Catholic, kind of strayed away from it, and I personally just want to get back into it, so I have that in there. And then I have my longevity for finances, which gets me to a no-buy list. Specifically wrote that down in my notebook, literally no-buy list. So let's talk about the finances and how to keep that in check, which is going to lead me to part 4. This is something I'm taking very serious this year. I wouldn't say I'm a total overconsumer. There are things that I've definitely had to battle. I see something cute, I see someone else have something cute, I'm influenced to get it. I am not influenced when it comes to things like makeup and things like that. I've always wanted to hold my own there. I definitely have been over influenced to think I need 7 different backup hand sanitizers and lotions and shampoos and products and things like that. I'm not willing to buy it. I'm not gonna ask for it. I'm not trying to switch up my hair care routine. If you guys have a hair care or a skincare routine that works for you, do not try to completely rebrand your hair or skincare routine in 2026. If it's working, cool. If it's not, then that's different. But you have products that work right now, so why go out and buy it? Like, I use the same cheap $7 hair oil and my hair is healthy. I get compliments on it all the time. Would I love to try the $80 hair oil? Of course, I see it everywhere, but I don't need it because my hair is so healthy already. So why would I go spend $80 on that? Some people need to hear that. The other thing, the body washes. If I'm getting gifted little travel size body washes, I'm gonna use those before I go buy my big thing of body wash, because then I just have those sitting in my drawer. And you know what happens at the end of the year when I'm decluttering or spring cleaning? I have all these expired body washes that from really good brands. Like, I don't want to waste my Sticky Dates from Lush. I don't want to waste my Sol de Janeiro body washes. I know they're nice to have for travel, but seriously, go get a travel size bottle and use it when it's time for that. If it's not, use up your body washes. Like, that's why they're there, and I'm gonna make sure I make that a goal. I've literally already set my mini body washes in my shower for me to use before I go buy my big body wash. Why not? It's right there. Now, when it comes to budgeting, I'm not an expert. I'm not gonna give you guys budget advice there. All I will say is just be really good about making sure you pay your bills first before anything. I know it's easy to, like, I do this every single month. I will add like 10 different things to my Amazon cart and it will sit there and I'm like, oh, it's just like $85 worth of stuff. Like, once I get paid, I'll buy that. But that feeling quickly dwindles after I pay all my bills and I'm like, do I need that $85 worth of bullshit? Probably not. So that is definitely something I keep in mind. If you guys want me to make a more in-depth video about how I budget, I am a teacher and I do only get paid once a month. So if you guys want to know how I still take care of myself and treat myself and do my hair and nails every month, then I can totally make a budgeting and just financial video for you guys if you're interested. Next thing I want to talk about to kind of wrap up my last part of this video is my my no buy list. So these have been all over TikTok. I've seen them, people talk about them everywhere, and I just want to share with you guys what I'm absolutely avoiding. And I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it with designer or name brand influencer items. I've never once bought something from an influencer or something that's like a designer collab and genuinely enjoyed it or needed it as bad as I thought. That I can think of that I've actively been avoiding is the Park sweatshirts. I don't want to ruffle any feathers here, but seriously, why do we need that? I want a name brand mock neck, I'll go to Gap and get the really cute $70 100% cotton ones they have. Like, I don't need to buy something that looks, it honestly looks cheap as hell too. I don't know about you guys. The next thing is purchasing too much makeup. That is something that adds up so quick. If I cannot fit my makeup in my drawer, I don't need to buy it. I don't need to have some huge array. It's not 2016 makeup tutorial YouTube era. Like, I know that used to be such a thing, makeup collections, things like that, but you're not a makeup artist, you don't need all that damn makeup. Please be so serious. The next thing that is for me personally is hoodies and crew necks of any sort. That also includes the ones that I like to get at the thrift store. I have literally needed to repurchase extra storage in my closet just for my hoodies because they couldn't fit in a 4-square cube organizer because I have so many, and that doesn't even count the ones I have hanging up. Clearly I have a problem and I need to not do that again. The next thing I'm not gonna purchase is purses or bags because I just got my dream freaking bag for Christmas, so I don't need to do that. I finally got my Free People Baby Emerson bag. I know I love to see a good bag at the thrift store. If I don't wanna pass up a vintage Coach, I totally get it, but I need to refrain from that because I don't need a huge collection of purses. I just have plenty of bags. I don't need it anymore. But the next thing is temporary or cheap jewelry. So I don't need to buy like a pack of earrings from somewhere cheap if I know they're not gonna last. I purposely will make sure I buy sterling silver ones off Amazon and then I can wear them for months. I don't need to be constantly purchasing cheap jewelry, especially if I'm like, oh, I need this necklace because I'm gonna go out to dinner or something like that. I used to be bad about that. I think I've really knocked that habit, but definitely no more cheap jewelries. If it's not worth investing in, I don't need to purchase it. Water bottles, knock it the fuck off. I'm not even gonna go into deeper detail than knock it the hell off. We don't need to do that. Like, you do not need a collection of Awalas, Stanleys, hydro jugs. Knock it off. My last thing on my no buy list, and I could make this forever, I just don't want to talk your guys' ear off, but one of my last thing is literally anything polyester. I'm not gonna effing do it. If it has polyester or nylon or things that are of cheaper fabrics, I'm not gonna do it. And that even includes the stuff at thrift stores. I'm not paying $12 or $14 or these ridiculous prices the thrift stores are asking of us for a sweater that is made like shit. I'm just not gonna do it. If you guys have taken a walk around a department store as of lately and noticed the quality is just shit of everything. Everything's polyester and then they're up charging you $200. So that is for sure on my no buy list. I am a notorious tag reader. I'm gonna look at that price and then I'm gonna look and see if it's got that polyester and nylon on it, because if it does, I'm not doing it. Definitely wanna make sure I am purchasing items for longevity. I'm cleaning out my closets, like all that good stuff. That goes all the way back up to my points number 1, 2, like decluttering and just feeding into that overall aesthetic. That starts with little stuff like that. Like, stop purchasing the crappy, trendy clothing. Invest in longevity of clothing and you'll be so much happier. Okay, cheekies, I feel like I've been talking your ear off way too long. So that is how I am actively and already have reset for 2026. Again, we've got the physical, we've got the mental, our vision board, affirmations, and anything goal setting, and then we have a very, very specific and strict financial reset. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to go more in depth about the things that I'm changing up for this new year, please let me know. Seriously, the 2026 and just reset trends in general can be really, really fake and facade. So be careful of the videos that you guys are watching and investing your time in and the people you're listening to, because it's more than just a trend. Like, this is like your new year. This is your new year and this is your life. This is your mentality. This is your physical. This is your aesthetic, your rebrand, your glow up, all that good stuff. And it doesn't happen in 24 hours. Like, No, it just doesn't. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you are liking, make sure you are subscribing, and if you are so sweet to leave a comment, I read and respond to almost every single one of my comments. So please take a moment to just give me a shout out. Tell me what your New Year's goals are. Tell me how your week is, anything. I love talking to you guys. Obviously, make sure you guys are subscribed. I love you. Happy freaking New Year. We've got this, and make sure you're staying tuned for more reset and check-in videos throughout the year. I love you guys. Thank you for watching.